So, how has ColdFusion changed over the last few versions? I think you have a slide you want to share with us that shows some detail on that.
Absolutely. So, in fact, we've had a transformation over the last few releases. The overall goal for us, Michael, has been to make sure that ColdFusion is the most stable and productive backend out there for any kind of business logic that it can host to serve across a host of client-side technologies. So that's the strong vision that we've had, and we've executed towards that vision over the last few releases. So not just the next version coming up, but we've done interesting work associated with that over the last few releases. So I'll just like to show you a slide deck that talks about that just pictorially represents what I tell you about. Let me just go ahead and share the screen here. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, can see it now. It's showing the transition from ColdFusion 10 through 11 and ColdFusion 2016 coming into 2018. And I'm just narrating a bit for the people who are listening on audio and may not be able to see the slide. So,
absolutely, great. So what you see on the left-hand side, Michael, are those various axes that we work on. So the number one expectation that our customers have from ColdFusion is to be a really high-performing and a scalable platform because they host a critical business logic on the platform itself, on their web application platform. So the basic expectation that our customers have is to have a really high-performing and a scalable platform. So we need to live up to that and beat the expectations every single release. The second one is around security. As you possibly know, that there are only more and more vulnerabilities being discovered every single day. So obviously our customers want to have a really secure platform on which they can run the business on. So that's the security. Security continues to be the second need. The third one is productivity. As most of us know, ColdFusion is the most productive platform out there for web application development. So our customers or developers have this expectation that they want this productivity features associated with the product with every version of the product. And the last one is being future ready. So for instance, when they build or when our customers or developers are invested in a particular technology, they want to make sure that the applications that they build are ready not just for today, but for the future as well. So we actually work on these axes to transform the product from one version to another. So just to give you a sense, starting off with ColdFusion 10, which was released in 2012, we started working on the product sometime in the year 2010. So towards a high-performing and a scalable platform, the opportunities that we had back then was around HTML5. And back in those days, REST-based web services were getting quite popular, mostly because of mobility. So what we did was we used this opportunity of HTML5. So Adobe was kind of not focusing very heavily on Flash, and HTML5 was picking up. At the same time, REST-based services were getting really popular to host web services more than SOAP. So what we did was we came up with a suite of features that actually enable our customers to use this opportunity and build something really interesting. So that was ColdFusion 10 through the transition from JRUN to Tomcat. We also made the platform secure by default. So we've improved the security access quite a bit over the last few releases. On the productivity side of things, we came up with the built-in REST-based services. So with just a few lines of code, our developers can expose their existing business logic as REST-based services. And for being future ready, we came up with the HTML5 support with the built-in WebSocket support as well as HTML5 chatting. So that was ColdFusion 10. Now, the next opportunity that we focused on, remember that our vision was to ensure that we become the most scalable and productive platform. So towards that vision, we focused on multiple opportunities, starting out with HTML5 and REST. Then in ColdFusion 11, it was all about mobility. So can we let our developers build interesting mobile application development, build, test, debug mobile applications using mobility as a space? So and that was ColdFusion 11. Where we focused on creating a high-performing PDF engine to improve the performance. We introduced security-related features to enhance the security of the product, various PDF improvements, and finally, the mobile application development platform itself. So that was ColdFusion 11. And ColdFusion 2016 was the next version of transformation, where we focused on API management. So now that we had HTML5 and REST services along with mobility coming in, we realized that our customers would want to expose API through the API management platform. So we came up with a built-in API management platform and transformed ColdFusion itself to have an API management platform itself in ColdFusion 2016. Now, the next opportunity that we have in front of us is microservices. So what we are seeing increasingly is that once you have APIs, our customers would want to have those APIs exposed as microservices that can scale independently. So that's the next opportunity that we are looking at for ColdFusion 2018 or Ether coming up in the next version. So if you look at all the opportunities, all of them actually are related. You have REST, you have kind of converging, all of these converge to make sure that ColdFusion is the best platform out there for hosting business logic across any kind of client, be it a mobile client or be it a web-based applications. ColdFusion, the vision continues to be to make ColdFusion the best platform out there for any kind of consumption from a client side. So that's the vision. And this is how we have transformed the product over the last few releases as well, with the most recent one being the API management platform, which is really interesting because we are getting a lot of traction for this API management platform that we introduced in ColdFusion 2016. Just to give you some sense of the data, 71% of our customers already build REST-based services. So for them to expose those services using an API management platform makes all the more sense, and we are getting a lot of traction specifically around the API management platform, and I'm quite excited about the directions that we have, and even the future directions will be focused quite a bit on the API management platform itself. So basically, this is how we have transformed the product over the last few releases.
So the API management is for your own APIs,